Imagine a man 78 years old, frail in body but unshaken in spirit. The air of Delhi is tense, the nation newly born yet bleeding from within. The partition has left deep wounds in the hearts of millions and hatred has replaced harmony. And at that moment, Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation, announces that he will fast unto death. He says, death for me would be a glorious deliverance rather than that I should be a helpless witness of the destruction of India, Hinduism, Sikhism, and Islam. This was not merely a declaration of a fast, it was a cry from the soul of India, a desperate call for peace. The year was 1948, only a few months after India's independence. While the political chains of British rule had been broken, the country found itself imprisoned by internal conflict. The partition of India and Pakistan had brought unbearable suffering, mass migration, communal riots, and the tragic loss of innocent lives. Cities like Delhi were divided not just by religion but by fear, suspicion, and revenge. Gandhiji, who had dedicated his life to truth, non-violence, and unity, was deeply pained. He saw the moral foundation of the nation shaking under the weight of hatred. For him, independence had no meaning if India's heart was poisoned with violence. Thus, on 12th January 1948, he announced his last fast. It was not a political protest nor an act of despair. It was a spiritual appeal to the conscience of the nation. Gandhiji's fast was his final weapon, not of the body but of the spirit. He had always believed in the power of ahimsa, non-violence, and satyagraha, the force of truth. Through his fast, he wished to awaken that truth within the people who had lost sight of it. He made it clear that his fast was not to punish anyone. He said, "My fast should not be considered a punishment to anyone. It is meant to cleanse my own heart and to make an appeal to the hearts of all." By refusing food, he hoped to remind everyone that India's true strength did not lie in armies, weapons, or political power, but in moral courage, love, and unity. In those days, Delhi was torn apart by communal violence. Refugees from both sides of the border carried trauma and rage. Revenge had become a natural reaction. Gandhi saw that hatred had consumed every part of India. He realized that no law or military force could restore peace unless the human heart changed first. Through his fast, he invited that transformation. He believed that if people could feel compassion again, if they could see each other not as enemies but as fellow beings, peace would return. His act of fasting was a mirror to society, reflecting both its cruelty and its potential for kindness. The response and the impact. Gandhiji's message did not go unheard. As his fast continued, an uneasy silence spread through Delhi. People were shaken. The very man who had led them to freedom was now ready to die for peace among them. Leaders of all communities, Hindus, Muslims, and Sikhs came together. They realized the depth of his pain and the greatness of his sacrifice. They signed a written pledge promising to stop the violence, to protect places of worship, and to live in harmony. When Gandhi heard of this reconciliation, he broke his fast. The city that had been filled with bloodshed began to calm. For a brief sacred moment, humanity triumphed over hatred. But as we know, this peace was short-lived. Just 16 days later, on 30th January 1948, Gandhi was assassinated. Yet, even in his death, his message lived on, a message that no bullet could silence. Gandhiji's last fast was not just an event. It was a moral lesson, a final chapter in the story of his life. It taught that peace begins within oneself. Before expecting others to change, one must first purify one's own heart. It showed that forgiveness is not weakness. It is the highest form of strength. It takes immense courage to respond to hatred with compassion. And it reminded the nation that true freedom is not political independence alone, but freedom from anger, prejudice, and violence. For Gandhiji, the independence of India was incomplete without the independence of the human spirit. Even today, decades later, Gandhi's last fast continues to speak to us in a world still divided by religion, race, and politics. His act reminds us the moral courage is greater than physical power. Whenever we see conflict, discrimination, or injustice, Gandhi's example calls us to respond not with aggression but with understanding. His fast was not an end, it was a beginning, a reminder that change is possible when we listen to the voice of conscience. Gandhiji's speech and last fast on the eve of 12 January 1948 stands as one of the most powerful appeals for peace in human history. It was the voice of a man who refused to accept that hatred could ever define the destiny of a free nation. He said, "If I die in the cause, it will be my good fortune. God alone is my protector." And indeed, his spirit continues to protect the moral soul of India. His fast was not just about refusing food, it was about feeding the nation's conscience. It was about awakening love in the midst of hate, faith in the face of despair, and unity in times of division. Today, as students and as citizens, the message of Gandhiji's last fast is not a lesson to memorize, it is a value to live. Whenever we face anger, choose peace. Whenever we see division, build bridges. Whenever we feel hopeless, remember that one frail old man once moved an entire nation not with power but with purity. Let's honor his legacy not by remembering his death but by living his message: truth, nonviolence, and compassion. Because, as Gandhiji taught us, you must be the change you wish to see in the world. Jai Hind.